my little pieces of paper because they kind of shot all over the place. For my heart punches or my circles, it's all the same exact process. Now this is the same paper that I made Heather's rosettes on her signs. I don't like to waste anything, so I do recycle, and these were the just end pieces that I used the punch for. Now with the hearts, if I fold it, it's not going to meet up right in half. So for this particular one, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut and not go quite to the center, and then come to the other side almost to the center, and make sure right there. Come on this side, and then I'm going to have my quarters. Now they're not going to be even because the hearts are not equally across. Now on this, I only cut it in half like this and half, and now I'm going to go down the centers again. So each of these quarters are now cut in half. Make sure you don't go all the way through that middle, otherwise you're not going to have your centerpiece that's going to be connecting these. And one more right here. Now each of my flowers are a double layer, so I want to do the same thing with this one. Kind of like cutting some pie or a round cake. You want to try to get those pieces even and up to the center without making them too close that they're going to pull off when you color or form them. So there's that piece. So if you do that with all of your pieces, you can line up. Here's another one. You're just going to line it up, fold it over, just like you did your square, but this is already rounded. And trim off that edge like we did with the square one. Trim off that edge like we did the square one. We're going to open it up. And this particular one, I only cut them in quarters. I did not cut them again into the eighths. So let me go ahead and do that with this particular one. So I have two, so I can layer my flower. And the other side. And now I can open it up. And now there's my quarters. Now, if you remember, that's very much like what this one looks like. You see that? If you have a circle punch, either the small one or a larger one or a much larger one, you're going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and let's do a pink one here. I'm going to fold that over. Fold that over. Now it is smaller, so you're going to have to fiddle with it just a little bit more. And right off that edge again. Same thing, just different sizes of circles, different punches, different sizes of squares, whatever you want. Simple and easy to do. So if you fill your crafting tackle box with squares or circles and then pack your scissors, you can sit and you can make multiple petals that you can get ready to use. So, easy enough, huh? Now I will say that if you're doing this and you're gonna sit and cut and cut and cut and cut, you, that one just did not quite make it out of there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and help that one along. You can get a little sore, you get a little callus, so just, you know, be aware of what you're able to do with your hands if you have arthritis, or if cutting through thicker things is a little more difficult for you. Make sure you have a very good pair of scissors that you can do that with. So, square, die cuts, punches, whatever you happen to have around that you can use. So, what I've done, and you don't have to do this as well, this is all preference for you. You can use watercolors, you can leave them as is, which is, this particular one is just paper and it's just layered. These are the cardstock and it's layered, but it is also inked. And it'll give you some dimension and some depth. So what I'm gonna show you is on, let's go ahead and do the heart one, because I just think that this turned out so pretty. I'm going to take, and I wanna give a little bit of some color in the center of this, because your center flowers are always a little bit different. They're not always the same color as your flower. They're a little darker on the inside. They have some shadowing. And so I am going to, I'm just going to take a Q-tip or a cotton swab, and I'm going to use some of my ink here. And this is Memento Pistachio. And I'm just going to rub that just lightly in the center. And I'm going to take a makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to rub that around a little bit and just kind of get that to smear on out. Dab it just a little bit. Ooh, that was a little much. All right, this one will be on the bottom, and that'll be fine, because we're gonna put some terracotta over the top of that. Let's stick with the Q-tip, the cotton swab. So I'm just gonna, in the center very lightly, and then go out and take the other end and then just rub that in, and that's gonna come out. Now, do and learn by my mistakes. Now, I've done that before, but apparently it's easy to forget. This is the potter's clay, not terracotta, potter's clay by Mementos. I'm just going to use that makeup sponge that I used earlier on that, and I'm just going to go over those edges, and look how nicely that gives those edges a nice color on those hearts. It sure makes that pop out. And I want to do the same for the piece underneath. Now I want this to go more on the inside and not just on the edges, because I want this to be my bottom piece. And if I'm putting, when I'm looking at flower petals, the bottom pieces are going to have a little more shadow underneath them. So I want to make sure that my color on my bottom petals are a little darker than on my top. Now I can go ahead and do this with my other ones. And then that way when I'm putting them together, I'm just going to do this as like an assembly line style. It sure makes it a lot easier if you have your inks out or you have your punches done to go ahead and get all your inking done. You can do your inking on the run as well. Just, you know, be aware that if you're on the road or on a boat, sometimes you get a bump and it goes over and you go out of the lines. I've done that when trying to color on the boat. Boats don't stay still, especially if you've got a little bit of a breeze out there and a little bit of a wind. It will knock you around a bit. So anything that you need precise precision on cutting lines or precision on coloring lines, that may be something you want to do before you pack the items into your kit to go. So my crafting tackle box. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and bring the colors in just a little bit more on that, and that's because I want this to be a bottom. I need something to be on the bottom part of it. And I'll go ahead and have one of these to have a little bit more color on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of my color to the center. And you just really need to do that on the top one. You don't need to do that on the bottom piece. And then come on in and just smudge that out a little bit so you don't have any real strong defined lines. And you can dot, you can rub, depending on what look you're looking for. This one I'm just very lightly, I've got my ink on there, but I'm just dotting. Dot, 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 dot. And I'll come back in and smudge that out. And it helps to blend those inks. So, set that aside. Set that aside. So this gives us 3 flowers. Whoop, I did not. Yes, I did. My goodness. Okay. There we go. Get those bottoms and those tops on there. So one of the things that I try to do at this point is give these a little shape, break down the fibers in the paper just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my bone folder in, hold it here, and I'm going to take it and I'm just going to grab and curl those down. And this helps to break that fiber and that paper a little bit and give me more control. I just flipped it on over and I'm doing it the opposite direction because I want to be able to shape this paper a little bit better. And if I do it to the bottom part, doing the same exact thing, flip it over, have it go the other direction. And I'm going to do that on all my flowers, petals, I should say, all of my petal pieces. This is something very easy to do on the road. I've even sat and punched circles out. That gets a little annoying in the car though, the sound of the punch and the punch and the punch and the punch. whoever's driving, or if you have people in the back seat, it might be a little annoying to them as well. So I try to have my circles or the shapes that I need taken care of before I hit the road, or the banks, whatever you want to do. Now this one, because I cut it in eighths and it has those hearts, I am being a lot more gentle on this and pulling that from the center where I'm holding it with my finger and thumb and pulling that out. I'm going to do it the other way, but I'm not going across the tips of those hearts. There. I'm going to do it again. And flip it over. Now that I've have those fibers broke just a little bit where I can maneuver them a little easier, I am going to take my glue. I'm going to go ahead and do this assembly style here and put some glue on each one of those centers. And I'm going to offset the tops and press that down, offset that top, press that down, offset that top, and press that down. I want my hearts to be offset a little bit there too. So let me go ahead and maneuver that over just a little bit more. Now once I get to that point, I use something with a larger, flatter tip. It can be a tool you have, it can be a glue stick, it can be the end of, this is a silicone spatula. And I believe I got it at the Dollar Tree, and I use it when I'm using my hot glue. It can be the end of your spatula. And just get that right into the center, and I just kind of help form that and shape that and help those papers just bend just a bit more around that. No particular rhyme or reason, I'm just going to do that to all three of these. And those are going to dry just a little bit more as that glue is on there. Be a little more gentle with the hearts because the edges are definitely a little more fragile because they do have those punches on the end. So I don't want to tear the hearts. Okay. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to shape these a little bit more. Now you can use your fingers. Like I said, you don't need any fancy tools. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to use my fingers here. Now on this one, I did cut it into quarters, and you can still do that. You don't have to leave it, I'm sorry, it was cut into eighths at the beginning on the first flower, and you can do that still. You can actually come in and slice right down and make it into eighths instead of quarters like I have here. Now one of the things, because these are really big petals, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to find that center line there, and I'm just going to cut on down and cut on down. Now I can do that to the bottom petals as well, but right now I'm just going to take my bone folder, come up underneath that petal and roll it. And I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to roll it and push. And as I roll it, I'm pushing it right up against my thumb, right up against my thumb, right up against my thumb. And I'm going to pull those pieces on in there. I'm going to go ahead and come down here and I'm going to cut these bottom ones. And do the same thing. Bone folder, finger and thumb, right on the edge, roll and push, roll and push, roll and push, roll and push. And all the way around. And now you've got a nice base for your flower. Let's take it and I can put it right back over and push it down and get that base kind of wrapped around. Now what I like to do is I like to come in to each of those petals and fold. I'm going to take my finger, stick it right in the center, and I'm going to roll that petal around my finger. Roll that petal around my finger and push. Roll and push. Roll and push. Roll and push. Roll and push. Simple as that. No special. You've got fingers. You can do this. Go to the bottom, roll and push, roll it around my finger, push it in, roll it around my finger, push it in, roll it around my finger, push it into my thumb, roll it around my finger, push it into my thumb, all the way around. And that gives you some flower petal shapes. Now with this is just a double layer. You can leave it as a double layer, or you can bring it in and use this to thicken up and make a much more dimensional flower with all these petals. Now I'm going to make sure my hot glue gun is on and ready to go, because I think that's what I want to do with this particular one. This is going to be the same type of direction. I want to use my bone folder, and I'm just rubbing the bottom part up there as close to my thumb as I can get, just rolling it. You can see how that's just curled that paper right on over next to my thumb. Come, bone folder towards the bottom and my thumb, and I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll it, and I'm come on over. I'm gonna roll. Roll and push. Roll and push. Roll and push. And then come on down to your bottom section. And you're going to do the same thing. Roll and push. Roll and push. Roll and and push. You lift that up so you can see. Roll that bone folder on the bottom of that petal. See that? Roll it on the bottom of that petal. And then push it up against that thumb. Roll it and push it. Roll it and push it. Roll it and push it. This is some heavy duty cardstock. Very good quality cardstock. So it's going to take some manipulation, but it can handle it. Some of your cardstocks that are going to be a little less expensive may rip on you, may tear on you as you're bending and forming this. They don't handle the pressure very well. So there is this one, which is this particular flower. Now, here is your hearts. I want to be careful because I don't want to tear, so I'm going to hold my thumb right in that center, right in the center of that. And I'm going to use my bone folder, roll it up and push it in. Get the next one. I'm going to roll it up and push it in. Find my next, roll it, push it. Roll it, push it. Roll it, push it. Easy enough. Once you get all the way around the top, now remember this one has 8 pieces of pie. I want to make sure I've got all of those pieces up so I can actually get to the bottom ones. And I want to roll and push it. Roll and push it. Roll and push it. And keep it going. And keep it going. And next. And there we go. And then with this one, I'm going to take my index finger, I'm going to push, I'm going to wrap and push, wrap and push, wrap and push, wrap and push, wrap and push. Ooh, I got both layers on that one. Wrap and push. So now you have more definition on those petals. Wrap and push. There we go. There we go. There we go. So now, when I take and wrap this down around an end of a pencil, matter of fact, there's a Sharpie marker. Get that Sharpie marker up there. Wrap that on down around the end of that Sharpie marker. And when you bring it up, you fluff them little petals out that you've just twisted and created. And there you have it. So now let's get these on down. hold it there. That was overlapping, and I just took that shape all right out of there. All right. Push. And fluff. All right. Those are the ones that were done. These are the ones we just did. And like I said, we can either take them and stack them and make them more dimensional. We can use what we have here and now get our bling and put something in the center of them. So we have these pearls. I think that looks good with the one little heart there, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of some hot glue right there in the center. I'm going to pop off this little pearl bead, and I'm going to sit it right in the center of that flower and hold that on down and let that glue, hot glue, catch. And look at that. You can use anything your little heart desires. I really like the way those pearls look on these colors, so I'm going to do these three with pearls. And that one there. Woo! Just throwing things around. Now my hot glue gun stand over here I've had for quite some time. If any of you would like to know how I made that, please let me know. It is so simple and easy, and all of the material that I got at the Dollar Tree. And it's glass, so your hot glue, if it gets on here, you can just pull it right on off. No fuss, no butts, no coconuts. So there are those three flowers we just made out of a simple circle. Super easy, super easy. So when you look at all you can do with circles or squares, it doesn't have to be a circle. Let me move all this other stuff out of the way here. Open, put some of these others out here. Look at these. I just think they're absolutely beautiful. Super simple. Have a punch, scrap paper, because you know I'm using my scraps, guys. Scrap paper, punches, or just pair of scissors, just a simple pair of scissors. Well, these have been in my bag and all squished up, but they fluff back up so nicely. Look at that. How easy was that for a fishing trip? Now, I enjoyed this fishing trip. How about you? Are you going to go ahead and get yourself a craft tackle box ready to go? So when you are on the road or on a long trip in an airplane or on a bus trip or going fishing with your husband or significant other, you can have your kit ready to go so you can sit and get crafty stuff done as well. I think these heart ones are my favorites. Isn't that just so beautiful? Look at that. Out of a circle. My goodness, out of a circle. Out of a circle punch. I mean, so stinking easy. Guys, if you like this video, please don't hesitate. Give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. And if you'd like to know when I upload new videos, hit that bell button and you will be notified when I do upload a new video. As I always say, look for the miracle in every day. Please give me some suggestions in the comment box below. If I don't know you and this is your first time visiting me, or you'd like to get to know me, leave me a comment below. I'd love to get to know all of you who are out there watching these videos and helping me grow my crafty family. Thank you, God bless, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.